Hello dear students, today we are going to start with the first chapter, Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. Before we start the chapter, I want to make it clear how I want you all to maintain your notebook. The pattern of all your chapters and poems should be the same. First you will start with a heading, the name of the author and poet, which is very important because you generally get it in extract based questions. Then you will start with the word meanings. Okay, word meanings ke baad then you will come to the short answers and then long answers. Everywhere you will maintain the same pattern. Okay, heading of the chapter, difficult word meanings. Now because I won't be able to give you the difficult word meanings, you can scan in your textbook. You can go through page wise and whichever word is difficult according to you, very difficult, which you've never heard before, you can either search it online now or you can search it in your dictionary and make a note of that word. That will also improve your vocabulary, and plus it will give you an added advantage in your exam because you will be using all these difficult words and your answer will be more clear. It will be more relatable. Now coming back to the chapter, Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. Khushwant Singh is a very famous writer. He generally writes humorous stories, incidents, but which have a very strong lasting impact. Now you all know what portrait means, correct? What is a portrait? Portrait is like a sketch of a particular person. Now here the lady which Khushwant Singh is talking about is his grandmother. Okay, the chapter is mainly divided into three different kind of parts. First, about the character of the grandmother, then the relationship, or you can say the life of both the grandmother and grandson in the village, and then later their life in the city. Okay, but at the same time when they go through when their life goes through these different kind of phases, in the same way their relationship also changes. Obviously when a child is very small, the bonding with the parents or grandparents is different compared to when the child grows up, correct? So we will go through all this in this chapter. It's a very nice story. He has very nicely explained about how his grandmother was, whatever he remembers about her, everything. First, in the beginning, he talks about the character of his grandmother. Okay, it's clearly given there. He never remembers his grandmother as a young lady. Whenever he thinks about his grandmother, he gets that picture of an old lady. People say that his grandmother was very pretty when she was young, but he cannot imagine that, because see, as grandchildren we always tend to see our grandparents when they are old, when they are in their either 50s, 60s, 70s, correct? So he cannot picture her as young, but he knows that she is a very beautiful soul. He doesn't know whether she was pretty outside when she was young, but he can remember as her skin as wrinkled and she's old now with grey hair, and she always wears a white dress. But she was a very good natured person, a very kind hearted, very pious, God fearing woman. She always prayed to God. She had those rosary beads, वो बोलते हैं माला जपना. So she used to always have those rosary beads in her hand, and she's very kind not only towards human beings but also towards animals. There are different instances given in this chapter about that. Alright, about his grandfather, he talks about the picture of his grandfather also. Even he looks very old with all the beard, white beard and turban, moustache and all that. He cannot, it's very difficult for him to picture his grandparents as young. Okay, now about their life in the village. Now Khushwant Singh shared a very special bond with his grandmother because his parents went to the city. Maybe his father got a job there, he wanted to set up his work over there, so his mother and father had to move to the city, and they couldn't take Khushwant Singh there immediately. So for a while they left him with his grandmother. Okay, he stayed with his grandmother in the village, and then later both the grandmother and grandson joined the parents in the city. So about their life in the village. Now you know, when the child is very small, he has to be taken care of. So the grandmother, even though she was not very educated, she was very particular about the grandchild's education. Every morning she made him have a bath, got him ready for school. Okay, they had that slate in the olden days. She used to clean it and wipe it every day for him. and walk with him to school. Every morning they had a particular routine. Now villagers don't prepare hot breakfast every day. Okay, that's a trend which is being followed even in today's world. Okay, so even maybe they were not very well to do. So Khushwant Singh's grandmother always gave him stale chapatis, as in she prepared extra chapatis at night so that it would be easier in the morning, because they had to do a lot of stuff. So she would give him that those same chapatis with butter and sugar. That was his breakfast every day. Alright. She also carried a few stale chapatis with her when they were on their way to the school. Now, when Khushwant Singh went to the classroom to study, it was not like a full day school, obviously, there in the village. Maybe he went there to study for 2-3 hours. Now, when the child or when the grandchild went there to study, the grandmother would sit in the nearby Gurudwara or the temple. She would read the scriptures of God. She would sit and pray there and wait for the child's classes to get over. Okay, this was her daily routine. She was very particular that the child learns prayers also. She concentrated on that as well while making him have a bath or during the daily routine. She taught him different prayers or different verses of God, so that he is religious, so that he develops a kind of, you can say, understanding of his religion, about God and everything. Okay, so they shared a very special bond. Obviously the parents were not there, so for Khushwant Singh, his grandmother was the most important person. Okay, I hope you all understood till here. Thank you.